We're here with Richard Burdick. This is segment 9 of our Talking with Richard. And we're going to talk a little bit about his panel that he brought home from the bank today with a lot of his early coins in it. Some of them we've already touched base with, but we're going to see some more stuff here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what we got here.
Yeah, I've had some of these coins since 1954.
You want to start with your Wild West memorabilia?
Well, one of my favorite coin designs from the United States, anyway, is Buffalo nickel. And I saw this advertisement it's in a Stax auction, actually. And I wasn't going to go to the auction, but I figured Tony Terranova would go. So I called him up, and he said, "Yeah, I saw it. It's really neat." And I said, "Look, pay up to $1,000 for this thing." And he had to pay $1,100. I paid him $100 for getting it, but I didn't mind the price. Once I got it, I think it's a really cutesy little thing. I can't even remember what year I bought that. It's probably in the early 90s, mid 90s, I'm guessing. And down here, I've got a pair of 50D nickels. I bought those in probably 1959 or 60, maybe a little bit later. I paid I think $5.50 for one, and maybe $7.25 for the other one. And my dad was going through my box of coins. Actually, I had about a half a dozen 50D nickels. And they're all different prices. And he said, "Richard, why have you got so many 50D nickels?" I said, "Well, they're rare, you know. I just thought I'd keep buying them. The price just kind of keeps ticking up on them." He says, "Don't you spend any more of your money on 50D nickels." And I said, "Well, okay." So years later, I found this one in his box of coins. And it's got a price tag of $27.50. And it's really kind of a pig of a coin compared to the gems I got. It's an interesting little story. Here's a really, really interesting story. I was sitting in a coin shop in Kalamazoo, Michigan, called Jay's Stamp and Coins. And these people were practically, they treated me like their son, kind of. And I would go there all the time. And especially the winter months, during the week, there was hardly anybody in there. So we're sitting in there one day. This lady walks in. She's like 27, 28 years old. She sets her purse down the counter, and she opens it up, and she's got these coins, there's broken rolls, and she's got these, see, they're Standing Liberty, Walking Liberty halves. And she kind of lets them roll on the counter out of tissue, and she said, "Do you buy these?" And Jack says, "Sure." And I can't remember what he paid a piece for them. I don't remember. Then she said, "Would you buy more of these?" And he said, "Well, sure. How many you got?" She said, "Well, you have to come out in the trunk of the car and help me carry."
What year was this?
1978, I think. Maybe it could have been the early 80s. I don't remember exactly. So I went with him. We helped. There was hundreds and hundreds of rolls. These were original rolls, bank wrap rolls. So four of us actually, carried them all in. He figured it up, and I can't remember the number that it came to, but I think it was around $80,000. And the next day, they asked me if I wanted to go down to Silvertown and see Leon. Sure. Well, I was hoping to get in on this deal, but I went down there with him, and Leon bought it. Oh my gosh. They over doubled their money, I think. And I later found out that Leon called up Jeff Garrett. Jeff Garrett came down. He bought the whole deal, and of course he sold it off. But to make a long story short, this is a 47P and a 47D that Marie took out of. She kept some of these rolls, and she knew that was my birth year, so she gave me these coins. Look at some of the prices I put on those things. It's 65 and 6. That was done many, many years ago. But that's my walk. Those are pretty nice coins. We're right out of the roll.
Wow.
She let me pick the one I wanted, actually. Think that coin was 6?
They're very cool.
Right out of the roll.
Yep.
But I forgot to tell you how this lady came to own these coins. She was only 27, 28 years old. She got married, and her husband wanted to start her house, just a little 2-bedroom, 1 bath. And they only paid, it was less than $30,000 for this house. They were going to fix it up, and it's going to be their first house. Well, the kitchen was really small, and there was a petition in there with an archway. And they decided if they took that wall down to make the kitchen much larger and they have room for a table. So they tore that down. In between the studs were just stacks of rolls and rolls of Walker Liberty $50. Now there was all mints starting from 1939 up to 1947. Many rolls of each date and mint mark.
Wow.
And they bought a new house after that because they made over double what the first house cost them. So now they can afford a better house, and that's the story she gave us after Jack bought all those coins.
What's the story on your racketeer nickel?
I was just thinking about that. Now, if you'll notice on there, no sale.
Right.
My dad was always afraid that those were supposed to be illegal because you were passing off a nickel that was supposedly gold plated for a $5 gold piece. And that's why they changed the wording on the back from no cents to 5 cents. So people couldn't be as fooled as easy with the gold plated ones. So it was always kind of controversial whether those were legal or illegal. My dad wrote on there, it's not for sale. I guess you could possess them, but you're not supposed to sell them.
Did you find that one yourself, or?
No, that's one. I think my dad got that. That was in his box of coins.
What about this piece here? It looks like a very thin Kennedy $50.
Well, that was actually my first error coin, and a friend of mine gave me that piece. Is that 1967? Is that the date?
Yes.
Okay. It was just a year or so later, this high school friend of mine came up to me, and he says, "Look what I got." He knew I was a coin guy. And he showed me this thing, and he said, "Look." And he broke it apart. And oh my gosh, I knew it was better if you leave it alone. But I've saved that coin all these years. In fact, I had breakfast with him just a couple days ago. We still get together for breakfast once or twice a month. But what else have we got here? Here's a coin.
This is cool. What's the story on these gold coins here?
Well, those came from an estate from my father's side of the family that he inherited not very much money, but they went down to Kansas. He found those gold coins in it was a sewing box that had a lot of coins, marbles, buttons, a lot of buttons. And he brought those back from Kansas, and those were in his coin box that I inherited many years later. Here's something. This is not a coin, it's a token. This was also a gift. Condor token. The real name for it, it's a Middlesex Spence piece, but the collector name for it is called Man in Jail. Have you ever seen one of these?
No, I don't recall that.
It's a real popular one. It's a man that's in a prison, and he's chained to the wall, and he's picking his teeth with a chicken bone. It's a very popularly collected piece. A guy by the name of Jerry Bobby gave me that thing many, many years ago as a gift. I actually collected Condor tokens for a little while.
It looks like you have an arrowhead there?
Oh, that's, see, it's got a buffalo nickel in it. I saw that in some auction. What was that? Numismatic Auction, LLC, Lansing, Michigan.
Was that probably like a watch fob or?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It was made to commemorate some meeting with Indians in 1915, I think in Denver, Colorado. I just thought it went with the Buffalo Nickel theme. So I think I drove to Lansing and bought that.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I like that piece.
Anything else in the in your trade that you want to talk about?
Well, I think we've covered most of it, haven't we?
What do we got here?
Oh, that's another Condor token. And that was also a gift from Jerry's wife, Sharon. Bobby.
He
She
kind of
gave-
looks like you, except for the nose.
Yeah, that's got quite a nose on it. It's called a General Elliot. Nice, beautiful red brown. I like copper coins that way. I've had that thing for 40 years probably.
We got a few minutes left here. What else did you bring us in the box here?
Actually, well, here's we didn't talk about this, I don't think. Andy Sidlak gave me many, many coins over the years. And this one, I have only a few of the envelopes left, but this is the envelope. This is the finest 1853 Arrows and Rays quarter to this day I have ever seen. I sold this coin to famous dealer from Miami. I can't remember the guy's name now. But anyways, I sold it to him, and you know, you just never see coins. You see a coin once, often you never see it again. Well, Andy told me when he gave me this coin that he bought this in 1947 from a B. Max Mel sale. And it said right in the Max Mel catalog that it was purchased at the 1922 TNX sale. That was one of Mel's most famous sales. And so it pedigreed back that long.
It's 100 years this year.
So I say I sold this coin in, I think it was 1979, and I didn't see it again. I'm trying to think. Where did I see this coin again? It was gone for many, many years, and it popped up. I'm having trouble remembering. Oh, I didn't see this coin again to the late, I was like 1998, I think. And trying to think who had this. Frank Greenberg, part of the Ohio deal. And Frank knew, he knew I liked really nice coins. He says, I want to show you something. It's not for sale. But he said, I know you'll appreciate this coin. It was the coin I'd sold at Andy's. It was gone all those years.
Wow.
It's in a 67 holder.
Wow.
And that's what I said. I said, Frank, look, see, I'm helping Dr. Davis put together this incredible typeset. To this day, it's, of course, we sold it before the registered era, but 183 coins, and the average grade was 66.2.
Wow.
Think about that. With chain cents,
1793
half cents.
1797 half dollar.
That was the big coin. That's another whole story. I got a great story about that coin. One of my best all-time stories is actually involving that coin. So,
Well,
anyways,
we'll get to that.
I told Frank, I said, look, I got the perfect typeset for this coin. I really need this coin. And he wanted like $75,000 for this coin. And I said, look, let me take it with me. I'll try, but that's an awful lot of money. Well, one of Dr. Davis's all-time favorite coins were 73 arrows and raised quarters and $50. And he looked at this, Dr. Davis looked at this coin, and I told him that he usually wanted to negotiate on everything. And I told Frank, I said, look, I'm going to offer it at $65,000. No, $67,500. And that's what I'm going to offer it for. What Dr. Davis bought it just like that, didn't quibble, because he knew how good this piece was. And it was one of his, favorite coins for some reason. 1870, 1853 arrows and raised quarters and $50.
It's a one-year type.
Yes, it is.
Like it's,
Of course, then we had to have the 1854 arrows. That's a different type, but we got all those coins. Here's another envelope from Andy. Oh, is there a coin in there? Oh,
there's 2 envelopes. All right, well, let's take a little break, and we'll talk more about Andy next time. All right.